Asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya.
Tasya hai tasya samno ya pratishtang veda pratihatishtati. Tasya vaivageva pratishtavachihi kalvesha. Etat prāṇa pratishtito giyatena ityuhaika ahuhu. Mantra 27. He who knows the support of this Sāman, vital force, gets a resting place. Speech, certain parts of the body, is indeed its support, for resting on speech is the vital force thus chanted. Some say resting on food, body. Śaṅkarācārya's commentary. Similarly, in order to enjoin meditation on another feature of the vital force, that is to say, its support, the text says, he who knows the support of this Sāman, that is, speech, on which the Sāman rests, gets a resting place. The result is aptly in accordance with the meditation, for the Shruti says, one becomes exactly as one meditates upon him. Upanishad 10:5-20. As before, when one has been tempted by a mention of the result and wants to hear what that support is, the scripture says, speech is indeed the support of the Sāman. Speech here means the different parts of the body, such as the root of the tongue. Those are the support. This is explained by the text, for resting on speech, that is, the root of the tongue and other places, is the vital force thus chanted, assumes the form of a chant. Therefore, speech is the support of the Sāman. Some say it is chanted resting on food. It is but proper to say that the vital force rests on this. Since this latter view is also unexceptionable, one should meditate at his option upon either speech or food as the support of the vital force.
Namaste. So in the last two mantras, we are told about the correct sound of the speech, which is used to recite the udgītha. And then we're talked about the wealth and how worshiping it as wealth brings wealth. And in this mantra, we're told about the resting place, and that the worship of the resting place of the udgītha gives a resting place. You will always have a place to stay. You'll always have good food. You'll always have wealth. You'll always have knowledge and good health. This is the result of worship of udgītha. Now, I should mention here, in case there's any confusion, udgītha, Pranava, Omkar, prāṇa, these are all equivalent terms. So when it is said that the root or the rest or the support of udgītha is speech, it means that these are actually the manifestations of prāṇa. Prāṇa is the life force, the vital force, the living energy in all creatures. And so when we worship it, however we worship it, in whatever form or mode we worship it, we become like that. The example is given in the Brahma Sutra, that if one worships the Pranava as the sun, that one becomes brilliant, one becomes highly influential, one becomes the source of life for many others. And this is the result, because the sun is like that. And worshiping Brahman as the sun then gives those qualities to the worshiper. So these are all different modes of worshiping the Supreme Brahman and how it manifests in our lives. Through speech. This is the secret of the power of mantra. Mantra means a type of speech that is creative, that brings results, that changes things, that changes you. And so I was looking up in Lakshmi Tantra, because Lakshmi Tantra has very nice explanations of the different kinds of speech, which are all manifestations of udgītha as Aum. Aum is the principal mantra of the Vedas, of course, and it is also given in the Upanishads. So let's look into some of these descriptions, and we'll see the parallels between the Upanishads and the Lakshmi Tantra. The letter ha is called prāṇa, since it invigorates the life essence. The same, hidden within the disk of the moon, combined with the letters and a, and meditated upon as coming from the root of the tongue, produces the act of speech. What is the first thing that a baby says when it comes out of the womb? Ah! And later that becomes ma. So these are the primal sounds. And with these sounds, actually the goddess creates the universe. The third account of the Cosmogony from Lakshmi Tantra. Creation is in kala, tattva, mantra, pada, and bhuvana of Shakti. From absolute transcendence, she finally transforms herself into determinate beings. Side by side with this material creation, there is the sonic creation, in which, from indeterminate absolute sound, Shakti becomes the determinate speech of everyday use. This aspect of creation is also divided into 6 stages, called Shad Advanaha, 6 courses. These are Varna, Kala, Tattva, Mantra, Pada, and Bhuvana. 1. Resembling the absolute being, Brahman, absolute sound is called Shabda Brahman. 2. The next stage of sound is known as Pashyanti. Here sound stands on the brink of polarization. The third stage is called Madhyama, when sound is polarized into word and its meaning, however, without the polarization being fully manifest. 4. The fourth stage is called Vaikari, which is the polarized state of sound. These 4 stages of sound polarization form the Varna course. So, in the first course of creation, the Varna course, the first thing to be resolved is speech. Ordinary speech is called Vaikari, but speech which is formed in the heart, which is only beginning to separate into words and meanings, or form, is called Madhyama. Madhyama means the middle. So in the beginning, sound is inchoate, like the cries of a baby. It has no distinctions, no discriminations between different letters and sounds and like that. But the link is there between name and form and consciousness. So a particular kind of consciousness gives rise to a particular name and form, which is speech. So in the beginning, there's no differentiation of the different vowels and consonants. It's just one big, you've heard young babies go, ow, huh? This is the beginning of the alphabet, the vowels. And then later on come the consonants and so on. And this is called the matrika. And of course, we've done a whole series on that. It's very complicated, but these are the tools that the goddess uses to create the world. And these same tools can be used by us to create our life, our self, our experience, and even influence the world. Look at any powerful person. And what do, actually? They get up and speak. And just from this speaking, then so many things take place. So this is the power. This is the lever that Archimedes talked about that can move the world. It's simply speech. So let's go on. The Kala course consists of the 6 divine attributes. The Bhuvana course contains the Vyuhas, worlds. The mantras, starting from the 51 letters called matrikas, form the mantra course, and this topic is of second special importance in Lakshmi Tantra. This is tantric linguistic occultism. The Pada course contains the 4 states of consciousness, that is, Jagrat, the waking state, Svapna, or the dream state, Sushupti, or the state of deep sleep, and Turiya, or the transcendental state. The Bhuvana course consists of the material creation. So, of course, there's much more to this than we can share in just a single video. But we've gone over all of this in the Lakshmi Tantra series several years ago. So those of you who are new should go back and take a look at that and get the background to understand these quotes, which are taken out of a very, very big context. So this is to say that everything that exists in this world, in fact, the world itself, and the different lokas or planetary systems within this world, the levels of reality from gross to subtle, are all manifestations of speech, name and form and consciousness. This is the great secret. This is why mantras have power. You should practice a mantra just to experience this for yourself. It doesn't take any faith, just do it. Aum is the best mantra, but Aum is also the beginning of every Vedic mantra and also the end. So one can chant Aum Namah Shivaya or Aum Shakti Namaha, or so many mantras, thousands of mantras. And we went over a lot of those back in the Shakti series, which you can see here. And of course, the greatest mantra is the Gayatri, the Savitri Gayatri. So Savitri is the name of the Shakti of the sun god, giving light. And in our intro, the first 30 seconds of this video, we went over that Paramana mantra, which is bring us from darkness to light, from evil to good, from death to immortality. So what is this light? It is Shabda Brahman, the speech that reveals Brahman, the sound incarnation of Brahman. So let's go over briefly Lakshmi's instruction on how to practice this. With his mind fixed on me, he should remain completely pervaded by me, and then, following the method directed by the preceptor, constantly practice yoga, culminating in the attainment of true knowledge and samadhi, where after remaining silent, he should repeat the Tara mantra 1,000,000 times, which saves souls from worldly existence. He should then perform sacrifice offered to the deity of the mantra 100,000 times, with tulsi leaves, wood for the sacrificial fire, or purified butter. Then I, the absolute I-hood belonging to Vishnu, being pleased with him, manifest myself to the mind of this adept who has accurate, distinctive knowledge of the truth. And that accurate knowledge of the truth reveals the absolute identification of the self with God, which state is known as Lakshmi Narayana. Such an adept becomes Jivan Mukta, emancipated while still alive, sanctifies the world with his glance, and all his mantras, both popular and Vedic, become efficacious. He becomes a master in the Vedas, in all other sciences, in all systems, and in the knowledge of sacred places. All applications and methods of application of all the mantras are, in fact, an application of this pranava. Ankar, Pranava, Tara, Hansa, Narayana, Dhruva, Veditman, Sarva Vedadi, Aditya, Sarva Pavana, Mokshada, Mukti Marga, and Sarva Sandharana Kshama. These and many others are the different names of Aum used by the learned in different shastras, secular and Vedic, consisting only of Pranava. So what is Pranava? Udgītha. Aum. These many names are given because of the many manifestations and potencies of this very simple mantra. Tara mantra, or Pranava. It's called Pranava because it gives power to the living force, prāṇa. So even the prāṇa, even the life force that is given for worship in this Upanishad so far, is but a manifestation of Aum. Therefore, chanting Aum is the principal practice of Vedic wisdom, which leads to complete self-realization. Aum Tat Sat. Aum Shakti Aum. Aum Namah Shivaya.